So I ended up selling every single player that I possibly could, and it was hard because a lot of stuff is unsellable. But you can see right here we have a lot of MT, and the reason I did this is because, of course, we are getting one final season, Season 9, before 2K26. It's not going to be your typical season, so keep that in mind, but obviously it is going to be a Season 9 before 26. And, of course, 2K is going to be releasing guaranteed gold packs, as they already are doing it right now, but they should have, like, the exact guaranteed gold packs, which every pack gives you a GOATS player. And then, of course, everything else from now until 2K26. And speaking of 2K26, if you want me to buy you the new 2K, then like the video right now and let me know down below in the comments what's a GOATS player that you want to see before 2K26, because I do feel like 2K is going to be releasing, of course, a GOATS Manu Bowl. It just makes sense, especially with all the big fellas 2K has been releasing. I would also love to see a Thanasis. I feel like that would just be a great meme for 2K to add. I feel like they might do like a Muggsy Bogue, you know, stuff like that. Maybe they do a Brawny. A GOATS Brawny would be hilarious. And so just let me know down below in the comments, you know, a GOATS player you want to see. And I'll be announcing the winners for 2K26, obviously, as we get closer and closer. Now, at the moment, you know, with all this MT, let's just start redeeming it, because we should have a lot of MT. This is basically going to give us the ability to buy every GOATS card, every pack that we want, and I'm just going to go through this like crazy, man. I'm excited. Now, I am starting to get a little, you know, like, I don't want to jinx it, because every year we always get excited for a new 2K, and then we play the 2K, and then, you know, there's certain things that are good, certain things that are bad. But I feel like 2K26, after the last two 2Ks, there's no way, like, they have to literally, they have to make it one of the best 2Ks, especially with Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out, you know, so many different games. And look at that, we're already at over 3 million MT. Yeah, we're gonna be ready for everything, bro. I've been telling all these players basically the last couple seasons, I always keep my MT here because it's safe. Okay, I know you guys are like me. When you end up getting enough MT for a pack, you're out here buying a pack with MT, which is really one of the worst things you can do, especially lately, because you guys know how expensive, you know, packs are. 18,000 MT for a single pack for a less than 1% chance at a player you want is literally ridiculous. And so this is my way of keeping it safe. And right now, over 5 million MT. Oh my goodness, bro. We're going to be able to buy any GOATS card. And at the moment, you know, the GOATS Wambis, the GOAT Yao Mings, those are definitely some players that I personally want to get. But of course, the new GOAT cards. I do feel like 2K, you know, at this point, with them doing already guaranteed, you know, GOAT toppers, guaranteed GOAT this and stuff like that, it's gonna happen, okay? One way or another, whether it's gonna be this upcoming Friday or if it's gonna be next Friday for the new season, that's left to be seen, obviously. 7 million MT, by the way, 600k with Wemby. Oh, I'm curious to see how much we're gonna have, because I have no idea. All these players that I've been selling, I've just been selling right away. Some sold for more, some sold for less, and we're going to be redeeming every little bit of MT. Which, by the way, let me know down below in the comments, how much MT do you have? Also, tell me, what's like the best GOATS card that you own right now? Because I have a feeling it might be like a Kyrie, a Dr. J. Maybe you're one of the big ballers. I wonder if they'll give us a Spud Web, as I did not sell my Spud Web for some reason. 8 million MT, ladies and gentlemen. There's a certain number that I really want, just because there's some players that I really want to get, you know, and especially once you get 26, like, this is gonna come, and, you know, this is gonna be like the end, right? So this is basically the last couple. I think at this point it's like, what, 30 days until the new 2K, which is definitely, I feel like every year is just coming out sooner and sooner and sooner and sooner. And some of this stuff did not sell, which is really upsetting, but, you know, it is what it is. I just try to put up as many players as I possibly could, just to be able to make this video and finally go one final run, right? Our final run before 2K26. I do have a lot of stuff planned for 2K26, especially with them giving out $10,000 for King of the Courts. You know, a lot of people forget that, you know, back in the day, I used to be like, you know, I don't really play, you know, competitive 2K, you know, how I used to, at least, right? Just because I'm more of like a retired type of like vibe, you know what I mean? I just be covering, you know, everything basically, from updates, locker codes, pack openings, gameplays if I get the players, you know, squad builders. And for this summer, with all this MT, we're definitely going to be doing squad builders, you know what I mean? And so with 9 million MT so far, we're definitely going to be able to purchase whatever player we possibly want, whatever card we want to get, because the market is going to tank for all the GOAT cards. Like, it happens every year. You're going to be able to get GOAT players for under 100k, and if you've been playing 2K long enough, you know it happens every year, right? So as soon as they add those guaranteed GOAT packs, it's going to get crazy in the market, bro. I'm super excited, because it sucks that it does have to happen, like, at the end of the year. I really wish 2K would just consider the fact that, like, you know, they can be stingy at times, but I feel like overall they really got to find a balance, you know? Because I wouldn't be surprised if 2K26 starts off with like a festival. They'll probably have Hall of Fame boxes. They'll probably have like a bunch of other stuff that, you know, is basically going to be like this year. Because for 24, they had the player market. You guys got to tell me, do you want the player market back or do you prefer the auction house? Because with the player market, initially it was really good, right? Being able to just purchase the player you want straight up at a fixed price was looking like pretty good, but then 2K lost a lot of money because people weren't opening packs, and so they lost a ton of money. And then what happened? They ended up going extra stingy as I get 1 million for Kevin Durant. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I've just been selling everything I possibly could. And so ever since 24, you know, they've been trying to feel like, you know, I feel like they've been trying to get their money back. And so 1 million MT, that's going to cross over 10 million. So I think this year 2K was trying to get their money back from 24. And so a lot of people always say like, oh, if everybody stops opening packs and stuff like that, you know, the game will get better. Not with 2K, because they don't have a competitor. They have no competition, so they can do whatever they want. And so that's how we ended up what happened in 24, right? Where they basically made it where every player was only available through packs. Like, you couldn't pick it up in the player market. You know, you couldn't pick it up in the auction house because there was no auction house. It was literally just nothing, just packs, you know what I mean? And so 2K, like, you know, we could definitely, I feel like at this point, you know, there's so many different ways of, like, trying to change things, but ultimately, with 2K not having a competitor, they're not going to change, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, there's certain things I'm sure they will change, and, you know, we could definitely do a better job of trying to help 2K, like, understand certain things, but at the end of the day, with there only being one basketball game like 2K, they can do whatever they want, right? Like, what are you gonna do? You either play it or you don't play it. That's unfortunately the sad truth about it. And so I'm just trying to prepare for the final run, like I said. Just trying to make sure I can pick up any player I want, any Dark Matter, any Invincible, 100 overall GOATs. I wonder if eventually they'll go, you know, if they'll bring back endgames. 300k right here. Hey, love to see it. Just because, you know, they did have endgames previously. Then they had the GOAT cards. You know, definitely, I feel like we're definitely due for like a new tier. I feel 2K19, they introduced Opals, and then I want to say 21 was Dark Matters, right? Which, by the way, tell me your favorite 2K. Because for me, 2K19, man, oh my goodness, my favorite 2K of all time. Like, if they found a way to, if they find a way, I should say, to incorporate the token market again and actually update it, you know, with the festivals, Triple Threat Park, I feel like 2K26 has a lot of potential, but I've always felt that, like, every 2K has potential, right? You know, 2K could be like, hey, here's locker codes every week again. You know, that's something they could choose to do. They just don't want to. And there's definitely times where you feel that 2K just kind of, you know, they purposely do things just to mess with us. I feel like sometimes they try to push it as far as they can. And, you know, mainly those WNBA locker codes. They're like, oh, they want locker codes? Well, here's a WNBA coach. And, like, what are we going to do? There's no other basketball game. If there was just another basketball game out there, and that basketball game was dropping, you know, go to locker codes, you're going to think 2K's not going to do that too? Exactly. That's why we need a competitor. I know there's, like, you know, the whole college basketball and stuff, but that's still years away. And then with GTA 6, which is under 2K's parents, you know, company. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what they have planned. You know, hopefully the good stuff, you know, because, like, so far what I've seen from 26, you know, with the King of the Courts, the triple threats, the gameplay, you know, emphasis and stuff like that, it's looking like it could potentially be a good one, right? But, you know, we tend to say that every year, and then we play it. And then, you know, we're out here like, where's the locker codes? Where's the better pack codes? You know what I mean? It's definitely a vicious cycle. It feels like we're in one of those relationships where, you know, you just love it and you hate the drama and you hate how toxic it is. It's horrible. Horrible. Everybody, I'm sure, you know, some people can relate, some people can't. But at the end of the day, with 11 million MT so far, we are looking really good. Even though with King of the Court being 10,000, I was going to say 10,000 MT, $10,000. Like, I'm thinking of doing a series where, you know, I show you guys how I upgrade my team, because a lot of the times I might just be like, hey, here's the new God Squad, and then you're like, whoa, you know, but maybe starting for 26, I'll have like a series of like road to $10,000, right? Because I have won championships before. A lot of people think that, you know, I don't play the game. I don't really play the game like I used to, obviously. That's pretty apparent, but, You know, I ended up winning Twitch Rivals. I was the champion there. I ended up winning, of course, MT Battles, one of my favorite things that we did on the channel. All of this is on the channel somewhere. You know, I ended up winning the championship at Community Day. So, you know, your boy definitely can win up in here, you know what I mean? Even the PlayStation tournaments, I ended up winning that. And so I don't think I'll be, you know, winning every King of the Court, but I feel like I could probably get like one win, you know what I mean? Even though, again, I'm not as competitive. You know, I'm not into the game like I used to be. Like back then I was hungry, I was going crazy. Now kind of just like, again, the retirement type of like vibe that I have at the moment. But you know, if they do implement King of the Court, because now they're saying it's going to be throughout the weekend, so I'm actually going to be able to play it, because you know, King of the Court this year is only at a specific time, and so not everybody can play at that time, including myself. You know, I might be able to play like an hour, 2 hours, but the whole 4 hour window, not impossible, right? And so I'm glad that they are changing that. And they did mention Triple Threat Park is going to have better rewards, which, you know, we'll see. We'll see how big of an improvement they do with that, because Triple Threat Park is definitely going to be the thing that 2K is going to want to, like, keep updating. We're about to hit 15 million, by the way. Oh, my goodness, look at that. It's going to be crazy, though, man. That's why I want to know what you guys are excited for, because I feel like everybody's different for 2K. You got the people that are like, oh man, I can't wait to see what we can get guaranteed through packs. You know, I can't wait to see my career. I can't wait to see Park. And then there's people that are just like, I just want good gameplay, or I just want another basketball game, or I want locker codes. Just very curious to see what kind of person you guys are, because again, everybody's kind of different. That's one thing that 2K I feel like has tried to do, is they try to make everything, or they try to please everybody, and then by doing that, they only please some people, and then they try to like fix it by only fixing the stuff that certain, you know, people in the community wants, and then like that ruins it for everybody else. So like there's just so many different people that, you know, a lot of the times like Park people, they might complain about, you know, the shooting, and then what does that do? That changes the shooting in MyTeam. And then you got the MyTeam people like, oh, it's either too hard or too easy now. And then they're like, okay, let's change it. And then the competitor, you know, the competitors, the comp side, they're like, oh, now it's even easier, or even this or that. And then they're like, oh, we got to fix that. And like, it's just a mess. Like, I'm glad I'm not the one that has to deal with that. But I still think there's definitely a lot of room for improvement when it comes to any 2K. You know, if it were up to me, man, I would make this game so much better. What would you guys add to make it better? Because for me, I'd make it where like every time they drop packs, bam, a locker code for a player. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I feel like this year they started off pretty good. You know, they were giving us diamonds. You know, we were able to get players from Triple Threat Park. Like some of the rewards were looking pretty good versus like other years. And then like a switch happened, and then like it just went downhill. I don't know what happened. Like these past couple seasons have not been what I wanted them to be, unfortunately. Look at all this MT. Oh my, 15 milli! I'm just spamming this, bruh. I'm actually surprised that it's saved, because, you know, some people know that I do this. You know, I keep my MT safe here, and they were like, Carlos, what if it glitches and you don't get your MT? And I'm like, well, if I would have redeemed it when I sold everything, this MT wouldn't be here anyway, you know what I mean? So it's safer here and potentially getting glitched versus me redeeming it as I sell it and then using it, you know what I mean? And so yeah, we're definitely, oh my goodness. And the fact that we still have, you know, these players that did not sell, and then I gotta put them back up, we're gonna have even more, bro. This is crazy. Look at this. And we're still adding to it. Still adding to it. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna be able to purchase every GOAT card. I remember I did that in 2K20. I literally bought every single GOAT player, and I'm gonna be able to do that with all this MT, because with the guaranteed GOAT packs, you know, the final festival update, the final season 9, you know, 2K is just gonna have guaranteed GOATs, guaranteed this, guaranteed that. They always do it every year. You know, that's why some people, there's definitely a lot of people that they wait until this point in the year to like play MyTeam. And then there's people that love the beginning of 2K. And let me know which person you guys are at, because there's definitely people that are like, oh, I prefer playing with amethyst, diamonds, and finding like hidden gems. And I understand that, but I feel like it's more fun when we get Dark Matters, 100 overall players, you know what I mean? Just because once we get like the 100 overalls, like the Dark Matters, the Opals, like become more common. And so like you're actually able to use those players. But I can definitely see like vice versa and so on, you know what I mean? We get another 200k right here. So I'm just curious to see where you guys are at on that as well. As we got 16 milli. Oh my goodness, look at that KD. I ended up selling that KD from that one box that we opened. It was crazy. That's gonna get us to 17 milli. Oh my goodness, Manu Bol I sold. Yeah, we're definitely getting a Manu Bol. Again, I would love to see a Brawny just for the memes. I mean, nowadays everybody's getting a GOAT card, right? Taco has a GOAT card. You know, Ty Lue has a GOAT card. So many GOAT cards, even though we're still missing Kobe. How big of a W would it be, though, if you load up 2K26? And bro, we still got over 50. Oh my goodness, look at all this MT. I knew I was going to have a lot, but I didn't think it was going to be this much. My goodness. And with the fact that we have these players too that we gotta sell, it's gonna get crazy. But I'm excited for this just because, again, I'm gonna be able to finally pick up, you know, some of the players I've been trying to get. Even though I guess you could make the argument that I could have done it before if I redeemed my MT. But again, if I didn't, it would all be gone. I know myself. You know what I mean? This 100K, I would have been like, let me do a couple singles. And then bam, it's gone. You know, 25,000 MT, one single there, bam, it's gone. You know, one of my boys, he always just, every time he gets 18,000 MT, he's like, I'm gonna do a single. And then he does it. And he never, up until this point, he has not gotten lucky from a pack by doing that. So that's why I always tell people, I know it's easier said than done. And of course, coming from somebody that has now 18 million MT, obviously, you know, it's a little, you know, everybody's different, like I was saying, but you always just want to be big brain. Always save that MT. Always work the market. You know, I gotta see if I can find a way to you know, bring back the auction house videos too. It's just, you know, with the lack of time, it's really hard. I have a Wemby right here too. And speaking of Wemby, should I just buy Wemby right now? Even though he's gonna be so much cheaper though with those guaranteed gold packs. Oh, there's only one. I could buy him now, but I think the big brain play obviously is to just, because at the moment it's even Yao Ming, I'm pretty sure he's like 6 million, right? Yeah, 6 million. I guarantee it right now. These players are not going to be going for that much in the next 11 days because of the packs, the final season and stuff like that. And so obviously with 18 million MT, and then of course these players that I still got to sell, and then all these players that didn't sell, we're definitely going to have more. But at the moment, we got 18 million MT. And as soon as 2K adds those guaranteed gold packs, we're going to be buying every single GOATS player, opening a ton of packs, and of course doing more videos. And so definitely stay tuned for that, guys. In the meantime, check out the GOATS pack opening as well as the No Money Spent series. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.